Hi, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a new video. I hope you're all doing well, and hello if you are new here. Today's video, as you can probably guess by the title, is going to be a tutorial on how I wave my hair and get those kind of beachy Molly May waves that everybody's after. Before we jump into the video, I would really appreciate it if while you were here you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a like if you end up enjoying it. And without further ado, I'm going to jump into the video. So this is a super easy hairstyle, like it's really not that difficult to do, but it is time consuming. If you're somebody that doesn't like to do their hair, which is me, I hate doing my hair. I don't know about anybody else, but doing my hair is the worst part of getting ready. I absolutely hate it. My arm aches, I get bored, I get hot, I get bothered. I don't enjoy it. So waving my hair is not an enjoyable experience for me, but I do love the way that it turns out in the end. So I persevere, I put up with it. You gotta do what you gotta do. So yeah, it is an easy hairstyle, but it is a time consuming hairstyle. So if you really don't have a lot of time to be getting ready, I wouldn't recommend deciding to wave your hair on that particular day, but the results we love. All you are going to need for this is your waving tool. This is the Beautyworks waving tool that I have. You can use obviously any other Mermaid waver, but I did try the Mark Hill one before this and I didn't like it as much. It was really heavy, which made it really difficult to use and hold for a long period of time, and it just didn't really wave my hair very well. It got really hot, and then when I would take it off, my hair would just look the same. So it was kind of damaging my hair with no real benefit. So I did end up splurging and getting this one, which is a little bit more pricey, but it's definitely worth it. And then on top of that, the other thing that you are definitely going to need is some heat protectant, because this gets really hot, and because it is a time consuming hairstyle, it is on your hair for a long period of time. There's heat on your hair for a long period of time. So you definitely want to get yourself a heat protectant. This is the Mark Hill Styling Heat Protectant, protection up to 240 degrees, which is really nice and really inexpensive. So you can get this one, but any heat protectant will do, but just make sure you definitely use a heat protectant if you are going to wave your hair. The last thing that I use is just some oil to use at the end. This is the L'Oreal Elvive Extraordinary Oil, which I've talked about a number of times on my channel. And then you're just going to need a clip to separate your hair and then a hairbrush to brush it through. This does come with a little heat protection mat, which is nice. So I'm just going to set this down here and then switch it on, and you can choose the temperature on this. So I usually have mine on around 195, and then it goes up to 200 and, not sure, 200 and something. I usually have it on around 190, 195, and then I'm just going to set that down on the mat to heat up. While that's heating up, I'm just going to take my hair out of the bubble and just start to brush it through with my hairbrush. I'm going to get rid of any knots. My hair is quite clean. I think today is second day, so I think I washed it 2 days ago. This hairstyle does stay better if your hair's a little bit dirty or a little bit gritty. So if you've got kind of a few day old hair, then this does work a little bit better. But mine is a little bit more freshly washed, so it is quite soft. But you just kind of maybe want to put some texturizing spray in or something at the end, which I don't have with me, but I will grab at the end because you need that. Forgot about that. So the first thing you want to do before you put any heat on your hair is basically douse your entire head in this. I like to put it on at the beginning over my entire hair, and then as I go through I will spray it on extra sections if I feel like I need to, as and when I'm going to curl them. But I'm basically just going to coat my entire head. It was locked. I'm basically going to coat my entire head in this. Get right to the ends as well, and then just brush that through. Then you want to just leave that to kind of dry and soak into your hair for the next minute or two, and then you can start to section it up. I'm just going to section my hair, and I just like to do it in two halves, basically the left and the right. I find with this, if you kind of do it in sections up over, it's quite difficult to get to the back and do it because it's quite a big tool and you kind of struggle to get to the back. So I find it's easiest to kind of work at the front. So I'm just going to section it in two halves. And then I'm basically just going to start on this left half, and I like to start at the back so you can kind of curl a piece and then get rid of it. If you start at the front, I find it's really difficult to work your way back when the hair's all hanging here. So I will start at the back, take a section down, and then I will literally just twist this section up and away, out of the way. So I'm not sure if this is the most professional way to curl your hair. It looks a little bit ridiculous, but this is the way that I find the easiest, because all of the other hair that you don't need is just out of the way and you can focus on the piece that you're actually trying to curl. And this gets extremely, extremely hot, and because it is quite big and clunky, it gets quite close to your face, and I've burnt my face on this and it wasn't a pleasant experience. So I will just say be extra careful when you're using this and make sure you don't touch your face, basically. You can actually use this both ways. You can curl in over and you can also curl with the handle kind of out over. I have tried it both ways and I much prefer the waves with the little clip inside towards your face rather than on the outside. I feel like the wave is just a little bit more defined and it looks like you kind of put a bit more effort into the wave, rather than the other way around is a lot more of a softer look, maybe more of a daytime look, but I definitely prefer it with the clamp on the inside. So I'm just going to take this piece of hair and probably put this in 2 sections. And then with the clamp on the inside, I'm just going to hold it on the top section for about roughly 10 seconds. But you'll know after you've done the first piece how long you need to hold it for, because like I say, it does get very, very hot. And then you just want to move it down and you want to kind of put the top barrel into the wave of where the bottom barrel was. So like that, so that the wave is like continuous rather than with a gap in the middle. You want to kind of put that barrel into where that barrel is now when you move it down, if that makes sense. And then again. So my hair isn't that long, but I'm sure you can see if you have really, really long hair how time consuming this can be. So yeah, just be mindful if you are going to wave your hair that you have enough time. And then the last one. And then depending on how much of a soft wave you want, you can leave the ends out. If you leave the ends out, it looks a little bit more undone, a little bit more beachy, but if you go right to the end, it's a little bit more of like a glam wave, if you like. So that is, let's see if you can see, the first wave. And we'll go in and do the second piece, and now like I say, I can just chuck that piece to the back and then it's out of the way. So that is 2 waves done. So I will just chuck those 2 pieces to the back and then I'll move on to the next piece from the side, just repeating the exact same thing. Now I'm going to take down the next section of hair, about a piece that big. I like to take down small sections so I don't get confused which bits of hair I've done and it doesn't kind of get in the way. Every section I take down might have 2 or 3 pieces to wave in it. So this one is probably a 2-piece wave. So again, I'm just going to take this front section and repeat the exact same thing. Clasp on the inside, starting at the top, and just clamp and hold. Like I say, if you do feel like you need to add more heat protection, you can add it onto the smaller sections as you work your way through, but just make sure that your hair is completely protected. That is another, that is another wave done. And yeah, we're just going to repeat that entire process on our entire head. So as you can see, it is going to be quite time consuming. I am going to be sat here for the next at least half an hour. So I'll put you on a little bit of a speed up and you can just kind of watch me speed through this side of my head. except for this front part. When I get to my bangs, I like to do them separately, just as a little section, and I just like to do a light wave in these, obviously because it's such a short piece of hair. If you wave it too much, it's gonna be up here like a little curtain. So I just take this section and I'll do just 2 waves in this. Just one at the top, and you don't hold this on for as long because otherwise it's going to end up super duper waved, and then just a lighter one in the end like that. So that is this side completely done. You just want to leave it to set, and you don't really want to touch it while it's too hot. You want to let this hair entirely cool before you start messing around with it, brushing the curls out or anything like that. So that is this side done, and this side is left to tackle, so you can see the difference. This is just my natural hair, nothing has been done to it, and then this is the hair once it is waved. So like I say, you just want to leave that to cool down. So I'm just going to flick all of that to the back, and then I'm going to start on the other side, just repeating the exact same process the entire way through. So I'm just going to do this side off camera, and then I'll be back once it's all done to show you how I finish it off. Okay, I am back, and that is all of the hair waved. So I just repeated the exact same process as I did on this side of my hair, and then I've left everything for about 10 minutes just to make sure everything's absolutely cool before I start playing with it and touching it. So the first thing that I'm going to do now that it's all cool is I'm just going to go in with a little bit of texturizing spray. This is just going to give the waves a little bit more of an undone look, and rather than looking like actual defined waves. So this is the Bumble and Bumble thickening texture spray, and this is really nice. It doesn't leave your hair crispy or kind of anything like that. It just feels nice and soft in your hair. So I'm just going to lift and then spray underneath and just give it a little bit of a shake through. And you can see the difference already between this side and this side. This side just has loads more volume, loads more texture, and just looks a little bit more undone rather than this really defined kind of sleek wave. So it does depend what kind of look you're going for. Maybe this is more of a daytime and this is more of a nighttime, but me personally, I prefer this more kind of undone beachy look. So I'm just going to do the same on the other side. Just kind of lift and then spray. And then at this point you could go in with hairspray as well if you wanted to, but I feel like this is going to hold pretty well. Since it gets so hot, you don't necessarily need hairspray, and I personally don't like the feeling of hairspray in my hair. So I could wear this for 2 to 3 days before I would say that it would probably need to be washed out. It wouldn't obviously look like this on day 3. It would look a lot more undone, but I could get away with this for a good couple of days without using hairspray. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of the L'Oreal Elvive oil, just an absolutely like minute amount, tiny little bit. I'm just going to rub it between my fingers, and I'm just going to run it through the ends just to make them look a little bit more glossy, as we have put a lot of heat on our hair just now. You can also take a tiny little bit of oil, which I'm going to do, like a tiny little bit of oil, and just flatten down any flyaways up the top. So like up here where you get those little flyaway pieces, but make sure you just use a tiny bit. You don't want your hair to look greasy after you've just done all of that work. So just kind of play around with it until you get the desired effect. You could also go in with a wide tooth comb if you wanted it to be even more undone and kind of start to brush it out, but just be mindful, make sure your hair is completely cool before you do that, otherwise it's going to go frizzy. So that is it, you guys. That is how I use my Beauty Works waver to get these kind of beachy waves, and I absolutely love the way it looks. Like I say, it is quite time consuming, but it will last a couple of days, and I think the results are absolutely worth it. I'm absolutely obsessed with wearing my hair like this. I feel like it would look really nice on both long and short hair. So if you have been kind of sleeping on the waver, I would definitely recommend getting yourself one, and I would also recommend just investing in getting the Beauty Works one, because honestly, it is the best one. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I hope you all enjoyed this video and it was somewhat helpful to show you how to wave your own hair. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to hit the like button and leave a comment down below to let me know. And also, while you're here, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!